data mining. Now today's session is on a priori algorithm. These are the topics which I have covered in this session. Introduction, algorithm uses two-step process, improving the efficiency of a priori TID algorithm and a priori hybrid algorithm. Now come to the introduction of a priori algorithm. A priori algorithm was developed by R. Agarwal and R. Shrikant in 1994. It is an innovative way to find association rules on large scale, allowing implication outcomes that consist of more than one item. Association rule I have discussed already in my previous session. So the name of the algorithm is totally based on the fact that the algorithm uses prior knowledge of frequent item sets properties. Okay, so this a priori algorithm, also called as level wise algorithm, because it is an old iterative approach known as a level wise search, where k item sets are used to explore k plus 1 item sets, right? So a priori property is used to improve the efficiency of the level wise generation of frequent item sets, and the a priori property states that all non-empty subsets of a frequent item set must also be frequent. So this the property used in the a priori algorithm uses two-step process. The first pass of the algorithm simply counts items occurrences to determine the frequent item set. A subsequent pass, say pass k, consists of two phases. First is the frequent item set Lk plus 1 found in the k plus 1 pass are used to generate the candidate item sets, that is Ck. This is using the a priori candidate generation procedure. And the second is the database is scanned and the support of candidates is Ck is counted. C means candidate generation. Okay. Now come to the candidate generation join step. Before that, for fast counting, we need to efficiently determine the candidate in Ck, which is contained in the given transactions like T. Okay. So the set of candidate item sets is subjected to a pruning process to ensure that all the subsets of the candidate sets are already known to be frequent item sets. Okay. So the candidate generation process and the pruning process are the most important part of this algorithm. The first is the candidate generation join step. In this given Lk minus 1, the set of all frequent k minus 1 item sets, we want to generate a superset of the set of all frequent k item sets. Okay, so the intuition behind the a priori candidate generation procedure is that if a item set X has minimum support, so do all subsets of X. Okay, so here let us assume that a set of frequent 3 item sets are 1, 2, 3. That is called 3 item sets. Okay. So 1, 2, 5, 1, 5, 1, 3, 5, these all are 3 item sets, because in this there are 3 elements. Okay. So then the 4 item sets that are generated as candidate item sets are superset of these 3 item sets, and in addition all the 3 item set subsets of any candidate 4 item sets must be already known to be in L3. Okay, so the first part of the second part is handled by the a priori candidate generation method. So see the candidate generation method is described below. First is generate candidate item set with the given Lk minus 1 as follows. Like you have to initialize Ck equals to 5 for all item sets, like L1 belongs to Lk minus 1, do for all item sets L2 belongs to Lk minus 1, do if Lk1 equals to Lk1 and L12 equals to L2 and so on. Okay, so then C equals to L11, L12 and so on. Okay, so using this algorithm, C4, 4 item set, okay, candidate. In this you have seen that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 means there are 4 item sets is obtained from where? From L3. L3 is 1, 2, 3 like I have told you in this slide, like 3 item set. These are the 3 item sets and we have to generate 3 item set and 4 item set. In this 4 item sets, it or 3 item sets already already there in the 4 item set. So here you can see that C4 means there are 4 items which is obtained from L3, these items. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 5 is generated from 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 5. Similarly, 2, 3, 4, 5 is generated from 3, 2, 3, 4 and 2, 3, 5. So no other pair of 3 item sets satisfy the condition, right? So here you check L11 equals to L11 and L12 equals to L22 and this one, okay, which is less than L2k minus 1. So you have to follow these steps, okay. Now come to the next step, that is pruning, or you can say prune step. The pruning step eliminates the extension of k minus 1 item sets which are not found to be frequent from being considered for counting support. For example, from C4 the item set 2, 3, 4, 5 is pruned since all its 3 subsets are not in L3. So the pruning algorithm described below, that is prune Ck for all k minus 1 subset, D of C do if this D not belongs to L k minus 1 and then Ck equals to this. Okay, so the a priori frequent item set discovery algorithm uses these two functions, that is candidate generation and pruning, okay, these two steps at every iteration. So it moves upward in the lattice starting from the level 1 till level k, so where no candidate set remains after pruning. This is the algorithm you see. First you have to initialize k equals to 1 and c equals to 1, all 1 item sets. Now then read the database to count the support of C to determine L1. Here L1 equals to frequent 1 item set and k equals to 2 means here this represents the past number. Okay, so while Lk minus 1 is not equal to 5, do begin this candidate equals to candidate item set with the given Lk minus 1 and then prune Ck for all transactions to t belongs to t. So do increment the count of all candidate in Ck that are contained in T, right? So Lk equals to all candidates in Ck with minimum support. Here minimum support is very important because this is given in the question and you have to calculate as per the minimum support. Okay, so k equals to k plus 1 and then n, and answer is UKLK. Okay, now here comes the improving the efficiency of a priori. In this first is there are many ways to improve the efficiency of a priori. Many variations of a priori algorithm has been proposed that focus on improving the efficiency of the original algorithm. So several of these variations are summarized as follows, like hash based techniques, hashing items into corresponding buckets, transaction reduction, reducing the number of transactions scanned in future iterations, and the third one is partitioning, that is partitioning the data to find candidate item sets. Fourth is sampling, that is mining on the subset of the given data. And the last is dynamic item sets counting, adding candidate item sets at different points during a scan. Now another one is the a priori TID algorithm. Okay, so in a priori TID algorithm, the database is not used at all for counting the support of candidate item sets after the first pass. The candidate item sets are generated the same way as in a priori algorithm, and another set C dash is generated, of which each member has the TID, that is transaction ID, of each transaction and the large item sets present in this transaction. So this set is used to count the support of each candidate item set. Here you can see in this diagram, here this is the database, this is a transaction ID, and these are the items. In the transaction ID of 100 has 3 items, 1, 3 and 4. Same for the 200 ID, 2, 3, 5 items, and for 300, 1, 3, 2, 3, 5, and for 400 it is 2, 5. There are only 2 items. Okay. Now we have to first go the step of candidate, it means C1. Okay, so we have to calculate this item set here 1, and this is the support. As I told you, the support is very important, like, okay, so here you have to find out how many times 1 reaches in these item sets, ID, transaction ID. Here you can see 1 in 100 and 1 in 300. That means there are 2 occurrences from where we find the item set in this transaction ID. Okay, so you have to write 2. If you are searching 2 item set, the 2 how many times it will come in this database, in the 200 ID, and the 2 is placed also in 304. So here you can see 3 is there. Okay, same for the 3. 3 means 1, 2, 3. We have to write 3. And 5, how many times it occurs? It is occurs only 1, 2 and 3. 3 times. Okay, so these are the supports, means this number of times the item set occur in this database. Okay, so after C1 you have to find out C2. Go to the step C2, right? Because C1, C2, Ck minus 1. Okay, so in the algorithm, as I told you, and now you have to combination of these 1 and 2. So how many times this combination 1, 2 will occur in this item sets? 1, 2 means in this 1 is only here and 2 is only here. 1, 2. Okay, so 1, 2 is occur in 300 TID. Okay, so you have to mention support 1 here. Same for the 1, 3. 1, 3 means where concurrently or you can say parallelly 1, 3 is here, and you can say 1, 3 is here. You can say these 2 items are here. So you have to write 3. Okay, sorry, 2. And now 1, 5, 1, 5 here is not here, only 1 time occur. And 2, 3 means 2, 3 is 1 and 2. Okay, and the second 2, 5, 2, 5 means 1 and 2. Okay, and sorry, 2, 5 means the third one also. Okay, and 3, 5 is 1, 2. So you have to write it 2. So these are the supports of C2. Okay, now again this goes to the third one, that is C3. So here you make the set to 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, because you have to not taking this star 1. Okay, so 2, 3, 2, 3 and 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So here you can see these all are 1, 2 and 3. These all have two supports. That's why I am writing it here in the asterisk form. So you have to find it 2, 3, 5. 2, 3, 5, three items here. Here you can see only one item. Here you can see only two items. Now here there you have to calculate for three items. Okay, so do not take it one because you have to ignore these one, because these all comes into all these subsets, and here these are the same items, and here these are the different items 2, 3, 5. So you have to take it these 2, 3, 5 element. Same for here, you have to neglect this because you can say ignore this, because these are the same items, but of course these are the different items, but in this pair there are two items, but here we want three items in this item set, so we are not taking it as. Okay, so here the rest, here only one item is remaining, so of course we have to ignore it. Okay, so for three item sets, that is 2, 3 and 5. Okay, then the support is here 2, 3, 5. It occurs in 300 TID. Okay, so here you have to write 2. Okay, because 200 and 300, there are two times it occurs. So next is the last item is this. So then further, if you want to do, then C2 hash C2 is this one. Okay, so we have to take this 100 item set. In 100 item set, we have to take 1 and 3, because in this you have to calculate this this same thing, like 1 and 3. Okay, because 1 and 4 is not in the item set. Okay, so you have to take 100, that is 1, 3. Okay, now same for the 200, you just take the 2, 3, 2, 5 and 2, because in this, if you note this, then you will get the 2, 3, 5. Okay, so 2, 3, 5, this one I am talking about. Okay, so or you can say in 2, 3, you can also understand like this, how many times this occur, like 2, 3, 2, 5. Okay, 2, 5, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, you can see also for this angle. Okay, so for also calculate this C3 dash. So in this 200 and 300, I have written here. In this 235 and 235 are both are in both are exist in the 200 and 300 ID. Okay, so this is all about the a priori TID algorithm. The advantage is that the number of entries in C dash may be smaller than the number of transactions in the database, especially in the later phases. So you can see here, this is less one as we compare to, sorry, where C3 is this one. Okay, now come to the a priori hybrid algorithm. A priori does better than a priori TID in the earlier phases, passes. However, a priori TID does better than a priori in the later passes. Hence, a hybrid algorithm can be designed that uses a priori in the initial passes and switches to a priori TID when it expects that the set C dash will fit in the memory. This is all about a priori algorithm, and this is a question for practice. Discuss the a priori algorithm for association rule mining with the help of a suitable example. Thank you. This session powered by digital version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. Hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you.